Hey guys, how you all doing? Welcome back to another video. We've now reached the knockout stage of the Euros as there are only 16 teams remaining, hence why it's called the last 16, which hopefully should be entertaining. Who will progress to the quarterfinals and will anyone make a shock exit? Let's get straight into the first game. First game of the round is between England and Slovakia. So, Slovakia qualified for the knockout stage, having finished third in their group after a 1-1 draw against Romania, which apparently both nations made a mutual agreement before kickoff to draw that game just so they could qualify, which don't get me wrong, I was happy about that because that got me points. But surely Slovakia wanted to at least try win that game to finish top of the group. I mean, to agree to a draw before kickoff with another nation makes no sense to me. That is very unheard of. And as for England, they topped their group 5 points despite putting in 3 very unconvincing performances. And look, don't get me wrong, look, obviously this is tournament football. Results matters more than performances, but at the same time, as England fans, including myself, we have every right to feel frustrated, and we are entitled to our own opinions. So Southgate has got to make some big decisions for this game. And for me personally, we should revert to a back three, because that way we have extra firepower in midfield or attack, which would hugely benefit them going forward. And you know, I think people keep saying that left back is still an issue. Well, if that's the case, then revert to a back three where no fullbacks are required. Think about it. It's like, you know, for me, again, Kyle Walker has played centre back before, so he should play there. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the exact starting 11 and formation wise, but I just think at this stage of the competition, changing formation would be the game changer. And you know, because again, our style of play needs to change. We need to move the ball quicker, have more purpose to our play, and you know, just attack. Like, again, ignore what Southgate says. Attack, attack, attack. You know, entertain the fans. You know, create a lot of chances. You know, put in at least something for the fans to enjoy. Because like against Slovenia, I saw the whole game. I was on my phone for pretty much. Well, I was on my phone for like half the game. That's how boring we were. Like, I'm just on my phone, just going through social media, went on Twitter, just read what other people thought about the England performances, and that for me was more interesting to read than watching the game itself. So anyway, going back to this game, like, for England to have any chance of progressing past the quarter-final, we need to put in a decent performance here. And however, for me, I don't really see that happening. I heard another thing as well, that Ian Wright said that Bukayo Saka should play left back, which is crazy because firstly, Saka has not played in that position for a very long time now, and secondly, and yeah, he's got the pace, but defending wise, I'm not sure if he'd be up to that standard. But that's just because, again, Saka scored 14 league goals for Arsenal last season, yet you want to put the highest scoring winger at left back for England? No, I disagree. Sorry, listen, I respectfully disagree. Yeah, I mean, because I've got this weird feeling that if I don't back England to win this game, yet they actually end up winning, that could bite me in the arse, which I don't want to happen. So I think, for me, this won't be a convincing performance, and hopefully Southgate gets common sense through his head to start the likes of Gordon, Palmer, play Kane as a 10, Foden as a 10. Again, you can't experiment either. No, that Trent midfield experiment, that ship has sailed. So it won't be convincing, but at the same time, I hope at this stage England do qualify, so I'm going to go for a 1-0 England. Spain versus Georgia. So Georgia qualified for the knockout stage for the first ever time in their history, having finished third in their group after their 2-0 win against Portugal, which was a very big win needed going into this game. Apparently their former Prime Minister gave the national team like $8.4 million after that win after that win over Portugal, and he's now willing to give them double the money if they actually beat Spain, which is a crazy amount of money. Yeah, I mean, again, like, so this could be a bit like a money motivation thing for Georgia. Again, massive well done to them for reaching this stage of the tournament. Yeah, as for Spain, they're going into this game in much better form, having kept 3 clean sheets so far, with also 3 wins, of course. Yeah, I mean, like, they scored 5 goals, conceding none in the process, which is very good. And for me, I feel like this is where Georgia's fairy tale run will come to an end, because again, I can't deny the quality Spain have in their squad. They've got Lamine Yamal from Barcelona. They've got Rodri from Man City. They've got key players who can cause damage. And for me, I'm just debating whether Georgia might score a goal, because again, one of Georgia's strikers, very hard name to pronounce, but he plays his club football in France for Metz. He's currently top scorer with 3 goals, though I might say second because there's been 7 own goals in his tournament so far. So let's just say for now he's second top scorer behind the own goals. So yeah, I mean, I see this being a case where Spain will dominate possession, create more chances, and yeah, I think it'll be a bit too much for Georgia's defence to handle. So I'm going 3-1 Spain. France versus Belgium. I think it's fair to say that so far both sides have been very disappointing so far in this tournament. France qualified for the knockout stage, having finished second in their group behind Austria, and also having drawn against Poland, which was very surprising. France only had one job, which was to win that game to finish top of the group, yet they drew against a side who were already eliminated before kickoff. And yeah, obviously, Mbappe with his Ninja Turtle mask scored the penalty. However, both of France's goals have not come from open play, which is, well, for a France fan perspective, very concerning going forward, but defensively sound. So I'm not going to get onto that too much. But as for Belgium, again, they qualified for the knockout stage, finishing second in their group behind Romania. Again, bit surprising, but I feel like this Belgian golden generation is washed up. Again, De Bruyne not the same anymore, Lukaku not the same anymore, Doku's been average so far, Trossard average, and yeah, it's just like, the thing for me is that they failed to score against Slovakia and Ukraine in their group, and they're up against a very well-organised French defence. They've got Saliba, Upamecano, Konate, Theo Hernandez, Pavard at right back. Their back line is very well-organised, and do you know what's baffling is that what if Belgium end up scoring against France? Like, these are things that has gotten into my head. It's like it's hard to know what to expect from this Belgian team. But at the same time, for me, like I just pointed out, failed to score against Slovakia and Ukraine. That's all I need to know about this Belgian attack right now. And this France defence should be good enough to handle the Belgian attack. So I'm going 1-0 France. Portugal versus Slovenia. So Portugal qualified, having topped their group. However, did finish level on points with Turkey, but edged it on goal difference. They're also going into this game in much better form. And yeah, okay, they lost 2-0 against Georgia, but I feel that defeat won't really impact them much, considering it was pretty much their B team. I knew Roberto Martinez would rotate the squad to give other players more game time and to leave the starting regulars like Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva and Pepe on the bench to rest for the knockout stage game. But the ones who did play against Georgia, it was their chance to prove their worth to the manager, yet didn't take it. And I fully expect Portugal to revert back to their full strength team. Anyway, as for Slovenia, they qualified having finished third in their group. However, they are going into this game unbeaten. which is which is pretty good for a very small nation. Yeah, I mean, that clean sheet against England, they put in a solid defensive performance. They nullified our attack and kept the likes of Harry Kane, Bellingham, and co quiet. You know, and it's and I feel they can build on from that going into this game. But for me, I feel like this will be the case where it'll be more like defence versus attack, where Portugal dominate possession, chances, and will get on the front foot, and they will try cause Slovenia some problems. And for me, Slovenia, they've got the likes of Benjamin Sesko, who hasn't scored yet in this tournament so far. So a bit disappointing from his perspective. And you've got Oblak in goal, who made a few good saves against England. Oh no, sorry, yeah, Oblak, that's the one. Yeah, so he made some good saves against England, and yeah, for me, I feel Slovenia won't really cause Portugal that many problems going forward. I feel they don't have the quality to do so anyway, and yeah, so again, like I just said, Portugal will dominate more possession, chances, and yeah, I expect them to win this game 2-0. Romania versus the Netherlands. Let's start with the Netherlands first. They qualified having surprisingly finished third in their group, which was crazy. Yeah, I mean, I had them to finish second behind France, except they ended up in the wrong position. Yeah, they need to bounce back from their 3-2 defeat against Austria, and they've got some defensive work to do, clearly. I mean, they conceded 3 against Austria, kept a clean sheet against France, and conceded once against Poland. So yeah, they've got some work to do. And Virgil van Dijk recently said that they overestimated themselves going into this tournament, and rightly so. They thought they could just turn up against Austria, like it'll be a walk in the park. It'll be like a convincing, 3-0, 4-0 win for them, maybe a 4-1. No, they underestimated Austria. And yeah, so they might want to watch their backs against Romania, who, by the way, qualified having topped their group. And for me, it's like coming back to their mutual agreement with Slovakia to draw that game. Very unheard of. And yeah, it's just strange. But anyway, so they beat Ukraine 3-0, lost against Belgium 2-0, and drew against Slovakia. So, I mean, so both sides are going into this game pretty much in the same form in the Euro so far, with 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 defeat. So I feel like this could be an even game. I mean, yes, so far most people have got Netherlands to win this game, but it's like, for me, again, the Netherlands have better quality on paper. Like on paper, they have better quality, but Romania will have the fight, the spirit to get them over the line. So yeah, this could be like maybe a slightly even cagey game, but however, part of me feels like the Netherlands will edge it. So I'm going 2-1 Holland. Final game of the round, Austria versus Turkey. Let's start with Turkey first. They qualified having finished second in their group, behind Portugal but level on points, like I mentioned earlier. Yeah, they left it very late to beat the Czech Republic 2-1. I mean, that late goal secured them second place. However, if they had drawn that game, they would have finished third behind Georgia. So yeah, I mean, they did what they had to do, and they they did it in very late fashion. Yeah, anyways, so to summarise, Turkey so far in the Euros, they beat Georgia 3-1, lost 3-0 against Portugal, and beat the Czech Republic 2-1. So yeah, 2 wins out of 3 is quite good, but they could still do better, I reckon. However, Austria, they qualified having topped their group with the likes of France and Netherlands. So yeah, I mean, to finish above both of them, fair play, and I think they're the dark horse in this tournament. Yeah, I mean, so far Austria have been very impressive going forward. I mean, okay, fine, they lost 1-0 against France, but since then they beat Poland 3-1 and the Netherlands 3-2. So great, that win against the Netherlands, great win for Austria. And And so that, and look, again, I'm not being funny, but Austria have scored more goals in one game than England have in 3 so far, which is very poor for an England fan perspective. Anyway, so it's like, for me, Austria, because I had them to finish third in their group behind the Netherlands and France. And do you know what? I hold my hands up. I underestimated them a little bit, and they fully deserve, at least they went through. That's the main thing. Yeah, so that's now 6 goals in their past 2 games, which is very good. And I reckon they'll cause Turkey some problems here as well. However, both sides are yet to keep a clean sheet in the Euros so far, which is where I feel both teams will score. I feel this will be a game where there will be chances. I feel this will be an entertaining game, I reckon. And by that, I mean probably more chances, not so much goals. But, you know, I think, yeah, Austria, like I just said, they're the dark horses of the tournament, and I reckon they will progress to the quarterfinals. 2-1 Austria. Oh yeah, the craziest thing happened towards the end of the Czech Republic-Turkey match. So basically there was a massive brawl which resulted in like 18 bookings, and Turkey received most of them. And they're also now without their captain, who is suspended. I know he plays for Inter Milan, but he's got a very long name and I won't bother pronouncing it. But yeah, Turkey will have to somehow fight and win without him. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. But anyway, those are my Super 6 round 4 predictions locked in. Feel free to leave yours in the comment section. Thanks guys for watching and have a nice weekend.